Good morning, good morning, good morning. Buenos dias, mi gente. Yo. Welcome to Daily Discipline number 465. My name's Rob Hoback. Happy that you're here. Honored and humbled that you keep coming back like for reals. Hey, it's a Forgiveness Friday, right? We're going to talk about forgiveness, right? And how important that is to living our best life possible. Because it's the 24th, that means it's my sister Elizabeth. It's her birthday eve. It's happy birthday eve, it says. It's also a work day. It's time to go. I'm late, so let's do this. First things first, still a realist. I'm also a father. Yeah, I went to counseling yesterday. Being a father was a hot topic, right? And, just balancing in my mind, because again, for those of you who know me, you realize that I ran as far and as fast away from being a father as I could. And finally I came to the realization, you have to engage, right? Like, don't be that guy. And so, and it's required me to make some sacrifices like every other parent. But I see how other men react in similar situations, and I'm happy with the sacrifices that I've made, right? I feel like, making the sacrifice I made are the right decisions for both me and my children. And having said that, man, I always got room for improvement, lots. So anyway, yeah. Just being real. My thank yous go out to my kids, right? This is the circle, the life cycle of, being a 50-50 parent for me is that by the time they leave after a short cycle, man, I'm exhausted. And all I want to do is just get my work done. And then by the end of it, I'm like, man, I'm ready to see them again. I miss them, right? It's report card season. All three kids, the report cards for Jack are different than Sam and Addie. But everybody got excellent report cards. Another thank you for today was for me and the people that work in my company is payday, right? Like, how are you not thankful for payday? And I'm just thankful for how my life has evolved, right? It's easy to sit here and complain about what you don't have, what you used to have. Like, just be thankful for what you got. Seriously, it could be a whole lot worse. So here, moving on to the thought of the day. Don't play victim, right? Don't be a victim. And this was something that for me, it took a while because I used to play the victim card often. Yeah. And I don't like that about myself, but just again, keeping it real, sometimes we think that if we play the victim, people are going to take empathy and all this stuff. And it's just, now that I realize it, it's just so unattractive, right? Like, I don't want to get people's attention by them feeling sorry for me or anything like that. And I don't want people bringing their problems to me and be like, oh, Rob, just fix my life. Like, no, right? Like, you got yourself into the situation and get yourself out. And then there's that gray area, the fault versus responsibility, right? Where it may not be your fault that you're in the situation that you're in. Maybe somebody else put you there, but you're responsible for your life just like I am. And then when you start really digging in, you're like, actually, I had some fault in there too, right? Usually we end up in those situations because we put somebody else's feelings in front of our own. And that's just being selfish of our own. Be like, I don't want to confront that problem. I don't want to deal with that drama. I'll eat that shit sandwich one more day, right? And then we get mad. We always have a choice, right? Life is about making the decisions that we make. And we always have a choice. And, you get into some of those situations with, there are some situations where that's a difficult thing, right? And I get that, right? I'm talking about the things that are easy or relatively easy for us to control, and that we just check out and choose not to engage with them. Yesterday the thought of the day was sugar, we're going down swinging, right? Like, it's easy for people to victimize, like, oh, well, I was going to do this, but this happened, and I was going to do that, and that happened, and all of this stuff, right? And it's just a bunch of excuses of how we were victimized and how we couldn't live our best life possible. Not interested in being that person. I'm more interested in striking out swinging for the fences, by the way, than just sitting there and watching life go by. Like, man, look at that. That looks great. Wish I had that life. Like, no, go out and live it. In that vein, and why I was talking about that, I was talking about a situation where I worked with somebody. This has probably been 10 years ago now. And it was 4th of July weekend, and this guy and his family were sitting there in lawn chairs in their front yard watching 4th of July fireworks. And some kids who had been drinking and driving way too fast lost control of their car and just literally lost control and went into a power slide and just took these people out. right? Think about it. That's what he told me. He's like, I sat there and watched it happen. And he's like, and I was the furthest one away from the car. So I hit one daughter, another daughter, my wife, and then just went black. Like, that's all I remember. I remember waking up in the hospital. What was that guy doing wrong? What was his family doing wrong? They were celebrating the birth of our nation, or our independence, and somebody else made stacked bad decisions. And next thing you know, they're all like, it dramatically changed their life like that. Was it their fault? No. But was it their responsibility? And do you think that would be like, again, put yourself in that situation. Think of what that would be like and how to continue to remind yourself, don't be a victim. I'm telling you. It's how we react to the bad things that happen to us. Bad things happen to good people all the time, right? And again, I know it's difficult. It's a mindset. I'm thankful that I've never had to go through, I went through the death of my brother, right? But that didn't affect me directly, personally, except for physically, right? And so, just bad things happen to good people all the time. And it's how we react. Just don't be a victim, right? Like, understand that you've been victimized, but that doesn't have to be your brand for the rest of life, just like it didn't have to be mine. And then the other thing I would tell you is that, and it's easier to say this than to do it, right? It's like the first TED Talk I ever saw with Mel Robbins. She talked about the most of the solutions to living a better life, a happier life, are easy, they're simple, but they're not easy. And so that this advice kind of falls in beauty, especially from the arts, always originates from pain, right? Think of that, right? The songs we hear, the art, you do the backstory, there's usually some pain in there that the artist went through, and that's how they dealt with the pain, right? Is that they created something beautiful from the pain. So when we're going through a difficult time, instead of sitting around and complaining about it, and there's nothing beautiful about that, right? Focus yourself. All of us are capable of doing something artistic and beautiful. Sometimes we just forget that we knew how to do that, right? We have that gift as children. So, beauty emerges from the pain, right? Do something nice for somebody else. Forgive somebody who hasn't asked for forgiveness, right? Those are tough things to do, but life's tough. You're tough, so am I. Let's do it. All right. With that, we're done. Hands up, peace out. We're better together. Appreciate you stopping by on a Forgiveness Friday. Seriously, take it out for a spin, right? And what I found is that when I try to forgive somebody who is a jerk or whatever they are, selfish usually, that I can get there and then they'll show back up, and then guess what happens, right? They're selfish again. I'm like, this is why I just don't like hanging out with you, right? So it ain't easy, right? It's simple, but not easy. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Deuces.